stopping by. If you're new, subscribe. If not, come on in. Let's drink some gin. Welcome back to Gin Reviews from South Florida. This has been a long time coming, and I've attempted this video already now 2 times, but we're gonna do Tanqueray tonight. Tanqueray, not Tanqueray. What does that look like? Some people say a fire hydrant. I see a cocktail shaker. And that's exactly what it is. So, the distillery that Charles Tanqueray first opened was in the
1830s.
And it's such a really cool, fascinating story. Him and Gordon, there's still Gordons and Tanqueray today, worked together, and they both made gin together for a long time before splitting up and going their separate ways. But as you can see, they're still on the market today, which is unbelievable. There's been 4 botanicals used since the beginning, and that hasn't changed. Juniper, of course, coriander, angelica, root, and licorice. Those are the 4. Now notice I didn't say any citrus in there. Let's see how that plays on the taste test here. So we're coming in at always a 47.3. That has always been the magic number for Tanqueray, and it shall always be. Okay, so this is very familiar. There's a very familiar smell. When I do smell juniper out in the wild, this is usually what comes to mind. Originally, this was my go-to gin when I was a younger man in my 20s. That's when this all started, fascination and craze. And I drank many a bottle of Tanqueray. Then my palate, I think, evolved a little bit, and I found that beefeater is my favorite. Absolute. We're gonna test that theory out right now too. I want to see on camera, of course. We got beefeater and Tanqueray. First, let's do the old Tanky here. Tanky boy. On the nose right away, there's the juniper. It's very pronounced. The coriander, the earthiness is there. The licorice, kinda, but more faintly in the back. There's phantom citrus notes on this as well. Now, I don't know if that's going to be because when I think of juniper right away, citrus comes to mind. Maybe that has something to do with it, but I do believe I smell like lemon rind for sure. So a little bit. Okay. You know what? The spice is really kicking. The burn on it is it's a familiar burn. It travels well. It doesn't produce a lot of that bitter juniper pine sol-esque, like that I think Gordon's has more so going for them. There is an oily, piney, almost residuey kind of on the back end of it. And ultimately that's what led me to beefeater. That led me to seeing how beefeater is not like that, but it's also it's standard, it's been around for so many years. Same 1820 on the beefeater, 1830 on the Tanqueray. I mean, these 2 distillers knew each other, It's pretty cool. We're gonna see right now once and for all, which I already know the answer, but Wow. For the first time, I actually taste the 44% from 47. Right, but from doing the Tanqueray, 'cause the burn is not anywhere. Okay, but what the beefeater has going for it? Well, there is the there's 9 botanicals used, okay, and they're all choice. They're all perfect for gin production, which is amazing. It leaves that juniper that you want, and then it has the citrus right in like the middle, sliced into the back of the palate. Again, or every cocktail I've made with the beefeater here has came out amazing. That has been drunk. So the big guy here, the beefeater, comes in at 44% now, which was 47 a little while ago, but we all went through that. The known botanicals that we do know are almond, which was the odd duck, but I think gives it an extra kick of earthiness. Angelica, coriander, juniper, of course, lemon, licorice again. I guess they both had that in common, huh? Orange, and then the orris root. They both had that, but that's a standard gin botanical. But maybe it's because they made it that way, right? The botanicals in beefeater, they're macerated for a full day. Just as James Burrow, who was the master distiller. So James Burrow was beefeater, right? And Charles Tanqueray, of course, was Tanqueray, and these two were in the same era, in the same time, distilling gin in the same area. Also with Gordon's. Well, actually, Gordon was distilling with Tanqueray. They were together in cahoots, as it were. All right, so you know what I thought I'd do, just to make sure here, do a gin and tonic for each one, small one. But I'm gonna keep it the same. I'm gonna do lemon, lime only, and I cut exactly, you know, in half each one that I did. And you know, I'm a chef, so you can trust me. All right, I got my lemon and lime, and the one on the right here, and then the one on my left, same thing. And then we're just gonna put a shot of each. I know I'm being a little light tonight, but it's because I already did a couple of these, so let's not get too sloppy now. All right, so beefeaters will be on my right, your left, and Tanqueray obviously will be on the opposite there. All right. Now, you know, we have to use the tried and true fever tree. Yeah. All right. That's all tanky right there. And big guy beefeater is right here. I think. Yeah, I think I got it down. Alright, I have a stirrer, right, big old spoon here. Just gonna mix in this. This is the beefeater one here. Put that down so we don't forget. It's happened once or twice. That's why I've done about 5 of these. No, I'm joking. Alright, let's see here. Well, I'm gonna start with the Tanqueray since it's already in my hand. And this beautiful glass, might I add. Let's see what happens. It's good. It's a gin and tonic to me. The only thing I think it needs a little bit is some orange bitters and maybe some Angostura. Yeah, some Angostura on top. But I'm gonna do that after this because I want to sit side by side. Okay, so the citrus, of course, is popping now. Remember, they don't use citrus in the botanical list on Tanqueray, but citrus amplifies the orris, the licorice, and it brings in this like really nice like lemon skin oil type of flavor. That's not like viscous at all, but very nice, perfumey. Of course, the quinine in there is just bitter enough to drive that dry. You know, that's the great thing about these two guys here. Is they are the dry gins. They are the driest of the dry gins. You gotta love that. Gotta respect that. A lot of history there. All right, so here we go in this other beautiful, nice glass. Here we're doing the old Beefeater gin and tonic. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just say it. Beefeater is definitely the winner. It tastes more like a gin and tonic. More of those notes of citrus are popping for me. I feel like it's more like a tropical drink than anything else. It's what I really like about the gin and tonic itself is it could bring you to a beach, which is awesome. So I decided just to do a little of the orange bitters and the Angostura in each one, since it's the way I prefer to drink a gin and tonic, to get even more of that tropical vibe, The Angostura has so many beautiful bitters in there. There's cloves and nutmeg. I mean, just really nice baking spices. But then, allspice berries. I mean, there's stuff in there that 150 years ago, most people had no idea. Nutmeg was brought over to England in 1825. Imagine that. Before that, they had no idea. Look what they do now. It's like the #1 spice. Okay. Well, right there is my drink. Got the Beefeater one. Here's the Tanky. Tanqueray just went up a notch here with this addition here with the he needed, I think, a little bit extra citrus in this, and then the Angostura just brings on that tropical, like, lushness to it. Well, they're both really, really good gin and tonics. I mean, you can't go wrong with either or, But I still have to say, this is my absolute favorite. Now, is this my absolute favorite over Plymouth? I don't think so. But that's a whole different episode. So yeah. So the winner, hands down, for me would be Beefeater. Even though I grew up and I drank more of these little green bottles than anything else, I still respect this, but it's not the same class. The other thing is, I don't see anything wrong with this, but I think some distillers and people in the gin world, or in the booze world itself, they have some kind of thing with. So what they did was, they used to distill in London, but the air raids in the 40s, they decimated and destroyed their distillery, and since that happened, they moved it over to Scotland. I mean, it's still in the UK, and they still use the same still. The one still that survived, they call Old Tom, has been there since 1830. The one that Charles Tanqueray originally made and used, and they still use that to make their base spirit. Now, their base spirit, some people might, that I've heard this from, they don't like the fact that it is vodka, and it's the #1 vodka in the whole world, which would be Smirnoff. So Smirnoff and Tanqueray, they come from the same distillery, and I don't know, I guess some people are turned off by that. I really don't see the issue. They're still making a good product. I mean, everywhere I've ever been, I've always seen Tanqueray. Everywhere. No matter what liquor store or what country or whatever it's been Tanqueray's been there. So that says something, right? History. Alright, well, the old thing. From me to you, eh? Have a good night, you bastards, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.